Hello and welcome to Gaming Gadgets and Tech. I'm Craig and today I'm going to run you through how I clean my gaming setup. Cleaning your PC and setup is one of those jobs that can be a little bit daunting when you're completely new to the hobby, but it really shouldn't be. In this video, I'm going to show you how I clean my setup and how quick and easy it can be, and what I find is the best way to get good results no matter what the size of your battle station. So step 1. First thing first, you're going to have to crack out one of these bad boys. Yes, no matter if you have wooden floors or a carpet, dust is going to accumulate and you're going to need to hoover it up. In fact, my old place had wooden floors throughout and the amount of dust we used to find was phenomenal in comparison to having carpet these days. Every little nook and cranny would find a grey build-up of dust and hair that had been floating around, and to be honest it's quite disgusting, finding itself in the most inaccessible parts of our old flat. Carpet seems to hold on to the dust fibres a lot better, making vacuuming the vast majority of dust up a lot easier. Right, so after giving the room a good vacuum, next on my list is the monitors and the TV. I usually leave the parts that need the least cleaning until last, and the TV and the monitor rarely have much on them besides a small bit of dust that's accumulated over the previous week or so. However, as I had to lean across the desk and keyboard to get to the monitors, I like to do these now in case I cover the stuff below in dust, etc. So what I do first is I rub the screens with a clean, dry microfiber cloth to remove any fine dust or smudges that I can find. If there's some smudges that are a bit more stubborn than others, and only if there are some smudges that I really can't move just by rubbing with a dry cloth on their own, then I grab some of this stuff. This is isopropyl alcohol, I believe that's how you say it, or rubbing alcohol as it's called in some places. So I'm going to stick with rubbing alcohol, as I can actually say that. So what this does is it allows you to add some to help you with the cleaning, but it evaporates really quickly. If you put a fine mist onto a cloth and just rub it over gently, it normally evaporates quick enough to not cause you any problems. So as it evaporates almost instantly, you can use it on electrical stuff pretty safely. I mean, as long as it's off as well. Try not to do this stuff when it's on because you're just asking for trouble. I like to get some spray bottles. I got this off of Amazon, probably costs £3 or £4, a couple of dollars, I'm pretty sure. Makeup size stuff was probably a little bit better, the small 50ml sort of like aftershave size ones. That'd be better because then you could just fill this up with some isopropyl and just leave it there. I don't particularly like having a massive thing filled with it just in case. So all I do is I just spray a tiny bit of a fine mist onto a cloth and then use this to rub the screens, and this will generally help remove any sort of like oily residue from fingerprints and stuff like that. But you really don't have to go mad with this stuff. It's just to give you that little bit extra than a dry cloth will give you. Whatever you do though, don't press too hard because at the end of the day, you don't want to be putting your finger through your monitor. So just nice and gently add pressure, in increments as you need to remove any sort of smudges or fingerprints, but take care of your stuff. Keyboard and mouse up next. Now we're getting somewhere. Your keyboard and mouse are probably the dirtiest part of any setup. Think about it. They're the only part you touch all the time when you're on your PC. So as you can see, cleaning your keyboard and mouse should be the area of focus for your cleaning at least weekly, even if you're a really lazy person. The first thing I do when I'm cleaning my keyboard is to remove all of the keys. Now I'm assuming you have keycaps that are removable. If they're not, you just have to try and hoover in the gaps in between your keys for this part. If you have a keyboard like mine, which is the Corsair K70, I believe, the keys pop out really easily. However, I replaced my keys with the pudding keycaps made by HyperX, and they're a lot tighter fit. So use the supply keycap puller to start pulling your keys off. Once all your keys are removed, I like to get a bowl or a plastic container, like a Tupperware or something like that, with some washing up liquid in it and some warm water. Washing up liquid is great at removing grease. I mean, it's literally designed to do that, obviously, from like pots and pans and stuff like that. I like to give the keys a little swirl around in the water just to agitate them a little bit, and then I pretty much leave them to soak while I get on with the rest of the keyboard cleaning. The next thing I do is I turn my keyboard upside down. I like to shake out all of the dead skin, food, nail clippings, beard hair, you know, whatever's fallen inside the crevices of my keyboard over the period since I last cleaned it. Once I think most of it is out, I'm in with a hoover again, and I use the thin attachments to suck up as much debris as I can. Once I feel I've got most of it up, I'll give the keyboard a quick wipe over with another microfiber cloth to remove the surface dust before I get the big tools out. I'll grab myself some of these. They're cotton buds to us British and Q-tips to Americans, and literally no idea what you call them anywhere else. I use these to get between the switches that we have on our keyboards. I find it hard to use a cloth as they can catch on some of the plastic tips of the switches and snag and leave fine strands of fibre behind, so I prefer to use a few cotton buds just dripped in some more rubbing alcohol to clean down the keyboard. You can use alcohol cleaning wipes for this, but again, avoid using household cleaning products. Once I've cleaned everything I can see, I'll take the keycaps out of the container, draining the water off, and I'll lay them on a towel, folding it over like this, you know, just to dry the keys off. Next thing I do is to wipe down my desk. I use some multi-surface cleaner and a microfiber cloth. A tiny spray of this stuff goes far, so use it sparingly and then wipe the tops down. It removes dust and other contaminants, and I find it takes away the stickiness I can find that can sometimes happen. Your arms and hands are touching the desk while you're gaming and you're leaving oils and sweat there. Wiping this down and giving it a clean really is a good thing to do. Not just for how your setup looks, but for your own health. If Corona has taught us anything, it's keep your stuff clean. This is also the time I will clean things on my desk like my fake plants, my lights, and also my PS5. Same thing here with the PS5. Don't use anything too harsh to give it clean. Don't use water and just wipe it down and make sure the vents are dust free and you're good to go. I'll also give the controllers a good wipe down with some isopropyl alcohol. This is to give them a good sanitize as well as removing any grime from them. So step 5, we come to the final part, the grand finale, the big daddy. It's time to tackle the most important part of all, that's the PC tower. Now this is the daunting bit. And the first time I ever did this, I've got to admit, I was bricking it. That's British slang for shitting myself. I didn't want to destroy this expensive bit of kit I spent ages saving up to buy and building it all myself. To be honest, as long as you're not a complete idiot, it's not too hard to safely clean. Now the first thing you want to do is unplug your tower from the mains power. It's good once it's disconnected to press the power button on and off quickly about 10 times. This will release any stored up charge within the components, reducing the chance of getting a shock. I'll remove all the dust filters and vacuum them as well. I like to get the cotton buds or the Q-tips out again with a little bit of isopropyl, as I find they can be the easiest things to get inside the fans, although a pipe cleaner will probably be better for this, but I don't actually own one. But I find them easier to get in behind the fan blades to clean them off, to remove any dust that's accumulated there. Removing the fans is obviously the easiest way to do this, but you know, we're talking about general maintenance, not a complete strip down and deep clean of your system. As the components of your PC aren't really exposed to anything outside, they should be pretty easy to clean. It should just normally be a dust build up. However, if you vape and you sit near your PC, this can be a bit of a problem because the vape can leave quite a sticky residue, which is quite hard to remove. So, you know, I used to vape, I don't do it anymore, but try not to vape directly into your PC. At least keep a distance from it because you are literally just going to destroy it in the long run. So it's not worth it. So I like to take off the tempered glass just to give that a nice wipe down. You can use glass cleaner and stuff on this, but you know, normally again, there's not a lot of dirt on these sort of things. It's just going to be fingerprint stuff. So normally a cloth just to wipe it down will be enough, all you need to do. But if you do need to get a little bit more stubborn stuff off, you can use the multi-surface cleaner again or some dedicated glass cleaner. But obviously just do this as far away from your PC as possible. Wipe it down, give it a clean, and then you're good to go with that. And that's it. All that's left now is just to put everything back together, replace the dust caps, replace the tempered glass, and then admire your work. There is no better feeling, in my opinion, than a nice clean setup. it just relaxes you. You know, you're ready. You sit there and you feel good about how good and clean your setup looks. So I hope these tips helped. If there's any questions, you know, just drop a comment down below. But I like to try and do this, you know, once a week if possible. So I'm as lazy as the next man. Sometimes I do this once every 2 or 3 weeks. To be honest, stuff like the inside of the PC, you can pretty much just gauge on by looking inside. If it looks dusty, clean it. If you're not looking dusty, leave it. I mean, it's pretty much a contained box. You're only getting the fan sucking in and out. So as long as you're not in a really dusty environment, you should be all right for more than a week. But, you know, stuff like the keyboard, the mouse, the desktop, try and give them a clean once a week. You don't have to remove all the cleats, but at least give them a wipe down with some sort of alcohol wipe, or, you know, a bit of isopropyl on a cloth again, just to sanitize it. You're keeping it fresh for yourself, and, you know, especially if you share your setup or anyone else uses it, you're keeping it fresh for them too. So I've been Craig from GGT. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Obviously, drop a like if it was any help to you. Drop a dislike if you just thought it was rubbish. And I'd appreciate subscribe, because I'm looking to make more videos with more content about gaming, as I say, gaming gadgets and tech in the upcoming months and years. So look forward to seeing you all in the next one.